Hi there YouTube, Mark Vergeer here. That is my MiSTer setup, and I'm going to record some gameplay through the Elgato AD60S. The reason for this video is the fact that Donkey Kong just recently had its 41st anniversary, and I just saw Tony Cruz's Mr. Electric Adventures live stream on Donkey Kong celebrating that anniversary. I watched it asynchronously, not while he was streaming live, but yeah, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was actually one of the first arcade games I ever saw, and I was just totally amazed by the graphics. And yeah, we had a Videopac back home, and I played Pig XP, and I've always been searching for ways to play Donkey Kong on home consoles or home computer systems. So yeah, let's just check out some of the Donkey Kongs I encountered over the years, and that are my favorites, and yeah, just to celebrate Donkey Kong's 41st birthday. Now, if all goes well, I'm able to switch excuse me, switch to the capture of the AD capture Elgato. Yes, and let's see if I can bring it back to life. Yes, so this is my MiSTer device, and I think that the best thing to do is actually to try to play the arcade game. So let's go to Donkey Kong. And I do not think it's actually capturing the video capture device, the audio properly, so I'm gonna see if I'm able to change that around. Hopefully this actually works. Let's do some. No, it's not. Yeah, the Elgato really has been an absolute pain in the neck. Use a custom audio device. Learn Elgato sound capture. This should work. This should work, but it doesn't. Oh well, I'll just turn up the volume. Hopefully it'll work. So the sound is a bit subpar. I may actually have to put my my Blue Yeti in. But yeah. So this game, I remember being totally blown away by how the barrels looked and how the animation was. Just so many frames of animation, and it's a tough game. So this was actually the first time I encountered Donkey Kong. I had seen Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man, but just the level of details, you know, the scaffolding and the blue ladders and the fire burning in the oil tank, the oil, whoops, that is just awesome. And just the way that the monkey looks, very defined, very comic-like, you know, with the teeth showing and stuff. Really interesting. So I'm just gonna play until it's game over, and then I'll move over to the other one. For some reason there's just a whole ton of barrels going down. Now, of course, the very first Donkey Kong game I ever saw was the orange LCD version. I got it somewhere in the game room. And, I could possibly pull it out and show it in a bit. Actually, it's quite an elaborate version of Donkey Kong, and it sports 2 screens. And I guess from the LCD era of video games, that is actually one of the most iconic ones. Everybody remembers the clamshell Donkey Kong, which basically is actually possibly the inspiration for the Nintendo DS. It has the same form factor. Now, the second version of Donkey Kong I ever saw wasn't really a version of Donkey Kong, but we had an Odyssey, a Videopac back home, and I'm just going to load a Videopac game, Big Axe Pete, which was the closest thing to Donkey Kong you'd ever have on a Videopac. Now, this game is a bit weird because, well, it doesn't really feature a donkey. Let's turn that volume a bit down. It doesn't really feature a donkey, but it has barrels, nicely animated barrels at that, just with little X's and pluses, whoops, overlapped. Basically what you do is just you walk around avoiding all the boulders, hoping that 2 of the boulders collide, and that can result in a key appearing. And when this key appears, you have to catch it or move towards it. And then you can exit the current mine level by entering one of the lift doors. Now you can dive and jump over the boulders, but it's a very tough game and actually also a bit boring because there's not much variation. And of course, like always, the sounds of the Videopac, they really are grating. Oh, I should have let that drop down, because if you smash the golden ball, oh, that one. So, oh, yeah. Because you really have to let it drop down in order for the key to actually appear at all. But yeah, there's ladders and there's scaffolding. And when an X appears, often there's not a... So let's see if I can enter the door. Yes! So you get this nice animation. Chack, chack, chack! And you go to the next level and then it just repeats. So yeah. The other version of Donkey Kong I encountered was Donkey Kong, a real version of Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600 of one of the neighbor kids. Let me see, let's go to 2600. Yeah, there's no Donkey Kong there. US Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, yeah. So, quite a rudimentary version of Donkey Kong with sounds that are just about as grating as the Videopac version. And little Mario he has this weird white blob of a head, but he has animations and the barrels are animated. And this is actually not that bad of a version, with the scaffolding actually being diagonal, because there are versions, home versions, where the scaffolding is just horizontal. But yeah, this is actually very close to the layout of the arcade. Of course, the way the monkey looks is just atrocious. I think Daisy they've really did a great job at. Now this is just almost not recognizable, and the movements of the flames is just very simple. But in a way it's easier because they're much more predictable. Whoops. And I failed, so game over. Now the Atari 7800 version is actually quite a good one. Let me see. It's actually a bit better. It's actually a bit better. Horrible sounds. Last time. Oh yeah. And it just increases in difficulty. So that actually is quite good. The Commodore 64 actually was the the other version I was exposed to. The thing is that on PAL machines it plays rather slowly. So Donkey Kong by Nintendo. Oh, I believe I have some raster shading going on. This actually mimics a Sony PVM with vertical scan lines. This might actually end up looking horrible on the capture, but yeah, this is a very slow playing version. Thing is, you can actually switch it to NTSC on the fly, and you'll see that the game is actually running substantially faster, about 20%, because this game was originally coded for the American market, and they didn't just speed it up or had it running at the correct speed for the PAL territories. So yeah, so this is the NTSC on your PAL Commodore 64. It's not easy to just have it run at NTSC speeds, because you really have to change the clock crystal and everything. There's FPGA solutions that make it possible to do that. And even though many games were programmed for PAL, it doesn't hurt to be able to have an option for NTSC. But yeah, this is, for Americans, this probably is not very playable. Now, in the European market, there was on the European market, there actually was a version of Donkey Kong from Oceansoft. Let me see, D64, Donkey Kong, hopefully. Okay, and we're back. What we can do is actually go to the Amstrad CPC version, because that actually also has a version of Donkey Kong by Ocean that is actually very similar to the Commodore 64 version. And I believe I played this over at my cousin's. Donkey Kong Ocean software. Yeah. Let's see if it's in the drive. Yes. Donkey. This actually is a lot more like the arcade, actually. The screen orientation is more vertical, and it plays faster than the PAL C64 version. And I believe they actually did quite a good job with the sound as well. So the oil isn't on fire. Oh, it is. So this is very similar to the Commodore 64 version. In a way, they're actually quite similar machines. Well, so Oh, I was lucky there. Oh, bloody hell. Game over. So yeah, on the Apple, I forgot where that was actually, but on the Apple, one of my friends actually had an Apple. His dad had an Apple, and there was a version of Donkey Kong on there as well, and I actually have found that one. And the Apple is quite an interesting machine. It was out way before the Commodore 64 Donkey Kong. And the freeze. So yeah, many cracked versions, of course. Normal level, 1 or 2 players. Let's see if I am able to have the joystick. Yep. So the jump is a bit weird, and like many of the other home ports, the Donkey Kong is actually positioned to on the right side of the screen. I guess to have to accommodate some sort of diagonal scaffolding. It's actually a very decent version, considering that the Apple II really had to rely on artifacting in order to produce any colors on the screen. It has the same processor as the Commodore 64, but it was just way ahead, way earlier, so it doesn't have any dedicated video graphics that are similar, video systems that are similar to the Commodore 64 or the Atari. But it's fast. It's faster than the Commodore 64. And the Atari also had a lot faster processor than the Commodore 64. It was the same, but it just ran faster. And I did play this quite a fair bit. I think when the Odyssey, when the I had a Videopac, and I think this was the first home version I really played a lot over at a friend's place, and it really looked the part. The animation of the barrels, and I don't think we played it in. Yeah, we did play it in color. But the Apple II wasn't really a very common system in the Netherlands. It was very expensive, but it was amazingly expandable. I mean, the system that comes closest to it, I think, in regards to expandability and stuff, perhaps is the BBC Micro systems. Yeah. Donkey Kong. After that, I actually experienced it on the Atari 8-bit, and we should give that a go as well. It is very similar looking to this. And I guess the Atari also came out way before the Commodore 64, so the port looking very similar may account for that, not sure. I love this level. Oh, there's Mario has very brittle bones in this version. So let's check out the Atari 800 XL version. let me see. I hope there's a cart. Carts. Donkey Kong. Yeah, that's that. I think it's not the best version in the world, to be honest. For some reason, there's some weird halts, like the entire game loop sometimes is just on hold and busy processing something. I mean, I would have been amazed back in the day, but I think the Commodore 64 version and the Atari 7800 version actually look very nice. But this actually plays very nice and fast. I just don't like the squashed look and the ape on the right side of the screen. It just feels off, but quite a few home ports have it. This, in a way, is quite similar to the Apple II version. So, not sure if I showed the Amiga version, but I'll actually show the Amiga version as well, because that was something that was a bit of a thing as well. The Amiga was the successor to the Commodore 64 in my neck of the woods, and I actually contemplated and was saving up for an Amiga, but the machine was just incredibly expensive, and also the discs, the media, was very, very expensive. I have to wait for it to boot up a bit. And there we go. Now let's go to the games. The D. And just organize that a bit. Clean up by name. And see if I can have Donkey Kong. Yep, Donkey Kong. It's one of these WHD load converted thingies. So let's double click that. Print screen. The thing was what was very cool was that the Commodore 64, Art Yosa, he was actually one of the people that brought a lot of the old Commodore 64 games to the Amiga, and he did so by painstakingly converting and creating pixel perfect versions of it. Very there's all these commercial messages and things going on at the bottom of the screen, which I find very distracting. And this plays a bit faster than the Commodore 64 version. But the graphics look very similar. Whoop. And my Amiga actually boots in PAL mode. It might be that if you boot it in NTSC mode, this game would actually run a bit faster as well. But yeah, there's no native Amiga port other than this that I know of. Now, they did sample almost all the Commodore 64 sounds. They used a whopping 250 or 256K of memory for that, which is bonkers, I think. So in here they have the factory I always seem to forget what the factory is all about. think you just have to pick up all these extra bits. And yeah, I'm not good at the factory level. Oh, yeah. But yeah, closest. Oh, that laugh. I'm not sure if you heard that, but I don't think the Atari ST had a version of Donkey Kong. The BBC did have a version of Donkey Kong, but I'm not sure what it was called. We could see if there was a Donkey Kong or a Kong version. Donkey Kong Jr. Perhaps with Kong, Kingdom Kong, Courtyard, Crackout. No. Now I'm not going to show Donkey Kong Jr. because that's just a totally different game. I just want to focus on Donkey Kong. The VIC-20. And then just load in the cart. Donkey Kong. And then go to the menu and press reset. No. Yeah, the thing is, there's this mega cart thing, and if it would support that, you know, all problems would be solved, because a substantial amount of the library is actually in the special multi-cards for the VIC-20, doing away with all this malarkey. Let me see. Actually, on the PC, there is a version of Donkey Kong that I actually ended up playing quite a fair bit. And let's see if my Windows 95 install actually has that on there. Oh, yeah. It didn't shut down properly. The MiSTer does a 486SX running approximately at 90 megahertz. That's what it does. It doesn't have processor support, co-processor support, so that actually limits quite a fair bit of software not running on it. They use a not very optimized version of an open source 486SX CPU core. Some users have postulated that it probably is possible to have a more DX Pentium-like system up and running, but others say that it's just too complex to run on the MiSTer. So let's check it out, because on the second drive I have some games, and I believe, yeah, the Champ games are on here as well. And there's a Kong port, a reprogrammed. This actually on the PC was just when arcade emulators like MAME or Sparkade began to appear. And this actually is a very nice version of Donkey Kong. But yeah, it became obsolete when people actually were able to play the original arcade with MAME. But this actually also runs on systems that would have not been able to run MAME very well. And of course, like so many others back in the day, creating more or less carbon copies of arcade games, but just having them published under another name, a similar name, Champcom. So somehow just people got away with it. Not always, because Casey Munchkin, the Videopac Pac-Man clone, it got shelved because well, it was deemed too similar to the version of Pac-Man on the Atari 2600, which, well, if anything, it was superior, I think. But not sure if I have Sparkade on here as well, and a version of Donkey Kong. No. So let's shut it down properly. Yeah, it doesn't do 3D acceleration, so it's limited to quite a huge chunk of MS-DOS based titles that don't rely on a coprocessor. Okay, so let's change the core. The MSX. The MSX also had a port of Donkey Kong, possibly even quite recently. I mean Donkey Kong. I mean, yeah, I had a Colecovision and it came with Donkey Kong, and there's this MSX port, possibly done quite recently. That's basically the Colecovision port. So let me see, go to D. Sofa Run really is the way to have GTX conversion. Yeah, I think there's a Nintendo 1986 and a 32K version. Let's try both. So this is the Coleco game running on the MSX. It's been converted. So basically it has the same start screen. Whoa. Oh. As you can see, the ape is also on the right side of the screen. I do like the way it looks. It's more like the arcade. It's not like this crazy ultimate monkey that a lot of the other home ports use. Ah! It's a fast version, but that's because I'm actually using an MSX system that is NTSC. Whoa! And the music just goes on and on. Let's reset it and load that other version of Donkey Kong. Yeah, this is a MiSTer themed MSX, wonderful MSX compilation. Thanks, Patrick. That is just an awesome. Oops, Donkey Kong. Just having my. So I'm not sure which version this is. Yeah, it's another conversion done earlier, but basically this is the same Colecovision game. We got the PC, the Spectravideo. I remember My cousin had a Spectravideo, and it's very similar to MSX, but not really. It has, it's very similar. With some minor changes, software can be made to run. Let's see if I have a Donkey Kong tape. Yeah, the Ocean Soft tape, see load and run. But this really takes forever. It really takes forever. But this is very similar to how MSX works. Basically, it's the same system. And this has a very nice tape loading progression bar thing with a bug, because it shows part of it on the right side, outside of the main screen. It sort of duplicates. It's a shame this core has not been developed a lot. I guess not many people think highly of the Spectravideo, or just there's just not much people interested in it. But yeah, this does simulate a low level. Okay, yeah, well, I can just sit here and talk about it. We'll just have it load. Yeah, a while ago I posted a video on whether or not people would be interested in a more elaborate video on the MiSTer. The moment I created that video, a bigger YouTuber actually did a very elaborate, extensive video on the MiSTer, showing a ton of features and stuff. So yeah, I mean, me doing the same sort of makes it obsolete, because that guy actually told us, or told the people who wanted to know more about MiSTer, basically all there is to know. I will link down below, or possibly over here on the little eye thing. I'll link the video so you can actually have a watch and see a very comprehensive video on MiSTer. So it's about halfway. Yeah, Donkey Kong. Oh yeah, I could actually try to find the handheld. So yeah, I'll pause the recording and I'll just be back in a bit. Yep, found it, and it's still loading. This Donkey Kong. I don't think I have a battery in it. No, I don't. But this, yeah, this form factor, this game really had part of the scaffolding, and on top there would be Donkey Kong and a hook swinging, and basically just the same level all over again. But you had a D-pad, a fire button, but this is actually very close to, well, you could actually see a Nintendo DS being involved by this. But this was the holy grail. In the playground, the early 80s, this actually was the way to go. I had this. This was Lion Tamer. This was a game which is actually quite interesting. You have 4 cages, and in front of these cages are lions, and you have to whip them into the cage. Not very animal friendly, but it's a cool game. Another game that we had, actually my sister had this, but I bought this from France because I really liked it. This is a Casio game. I made a video on that, played some of it. I'll link it down in the video. And this actually also is a very nice shooting game. Casio really has this nice proper calculator feel, But a very nice game, very nice sound effects, and yeah, it runs forever on a set of batteries. Cool thing is that I even have a version of the box. I thought I'd lost this, so I bought this again. This is also from France. And here you can actually see the graphics, the little dompter, and the lines that have to be put in the cages. But yeah, really fun stuff. So then there's this. Yeah, this also doesn't have any batteries, but this is actually an original Nintendo keychain thing, which is basically a soccer game. And then there's this recreation. This was part of the of a set of re-releases done by Nintendo. It's Octopus. Game & Watch releases, basically just left and right, and you have to avoid an octopus, get the gold and stuff. Very interesting. A diver that goes to the ship and has to move back. But I just love the form factor of these, and basically you see the Game Boy Advance in there, or the Game Boy Micro. Then there's another reproduction, which is the game Ball. And I got this with Nintendo points, I believe. Let me see if I can get it out of the package. This is an even smaller, and I don't have any batteries in it, but also one of the Game & Watch releases. It's even smaller than the other one. This is real size. This is actually way smaller. Probably some sort of cost reduction thing. But I really like the fact that Nintendo came out with quite a fair few of these reproductions of these wonderful old LCD games, because a lot of kids just didn't have the money for home consoles, and they basically had to make do with these LCD games. Now, I'm not sure if this was charged, but this is the latest edition I got. Donkey Kong is loading. Okay, it's still doing its thing. We'll be very patient. This is a color screen Game & Watch. Funny thing is, I ordered this, and this actually seems to be intended for the Russian market. Now, that's something that probably isn't going to happen anytime soon. And this actually looks very identical in size to the original, and perhaps it's charged. I don't think so. No, you have to charge it. But this actually has the NES version. It has a very nice screen. People have been hacking this, running other games on it, but I just keep it stock. There's 4 games on there. Yeah, but this is a Donkey Kong video. Trying to see whether or not I'm able to load in Donkey Kong on the Spectravideo, but it really takes a lot of patience for it to appear. It wouldn't surprise you to find out that it actually basically is the same as the MSX and Colecovision version. Let me stuff back all these LCD games. Oh yeah, and I got this, the Nokia 3310, as a bit of a gimmick. I figured it would be nice to just have a secondary SIM and use this as a fun way to have some sort of retro. And this actually is very similar to the one that I was using, but the buttons on it, you really are able to press the wrong button very easily. the way the buttons use, their feel is just so hit and miss that it makes the device unusable. So there goes the second easy phone. If you don't want to take your smartphone with you, it just doesn't work, so it's not worth getting that. Yeah, I'll stuff away my my LCD, the box with LCD games, and I'll be just back in a sec. Don't really think it's loading. Nah. I'm just gonna switch to the MiSTer screen, so you'll be able to enjoy it. But we'll just reset the system and just see if we can have some other versions. I'm not sure if the Tandy actually had a version of Donkey Kong. The Coco. Yeah, it might have existed, but I'm not very familiar with the Coco. The TA. Oh, I don't have the proper. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't boot up properly, so I don't have the proper ROM files on this MiSTer. So, not sure if that has a TRS-80. It might have a Donkey Kong version. Not sure. It's not known for the. It's not really known for the games, I guess. A lot of files in there, so it takes a bit for it to all read it, but don't think that TRS-80 has many games or Donkey Kong games, so we could check it out if there's a Donkey Kong. Oh no, it's just the same C-load issue thing. Right, perhaps we could check out disk, but no, it's just the same thing all over again. Possibly the Coco 2. Cartridge disk. Games. No Donkey Kong. We could go cartridge. There might be a version of Donkey Kong. No. Demon Attack is pretty cool, but I'm not sure if that actually works. Demon Attack, yeah. Coco, pretty nice system. Not very common in the Netherlands, but yeah. The 86,000. I mean, it does have a ton of arcade ports available for it. This is the old core. I need to run this core. Basically, this is the Amiga-like God computer from Japan. And this pretty much boots into some sort of file management clone thing. Not sure if there's any Donkey Kong games out there. Don't think there is. It's home to more recent ports, more recent games. But I believe the Spectrum does have, the ZX Spectrum does have a Donkey Kong port. Let's see, classics. No. Load disk. No. Oh, possibly. There's this clone, this Russian clone of the Spectrum, which actually runs very nicely. It boots into some sort of Norton Commander clone. Games. And let's see if there's any Donkey Kong. This is actually my preferred way of playing Spectrum games on the MiSTer. It's a very competent core. Let me see, Doomsday. Oh bloody hell! There's no Donkey Kong there. Yeah, these are just more elaborate games that just run on the extra hardware bits. I may have to go ZX Plus, ZX Spectrum Next. I mean, yeah, good thing I have a Spectrum Next core running. Let me see, I have to load in my VHD. Next reload it. And hard reset. This basically uses the same SD image format as the original ZX Next. And hopefully full Spectrum. Snapshot. Donkey Kong. I think we should have. I could actually have these imported into the other emulator, but today hopefully it works. Yeah, and then I can select the Gamson joystick and start the game. So yeah, not one of the Spectrum's most fantastic ports. It's actually quite slow. Now, I'm not sure this actually is original to the Spectrum, or that this is something that is happening because I'm running this on the MiSTer core. I could press F1 just to. Arrow. Oh wow, that's something. Oh, so I just corrupted SD card. Wonderful. Let's load in the core again. That's just amazing. Yeah, I guess it's the yeah. I guess that's just the core doing something weird. So no corrupted SD card, but just yeah, so it just boots into that. What else? ZX48. It's a very basic Spectrum port. Mount VHD. There's no VHD that I've enabled. Let's see what else. So we have the computer systems, the console systems, the 5200 very possibly has a version of Donkey Kong. Or it may not have. That is weird. Yeah, it doesn't. That's right, it doesn't. Okay, another core. The Jaguar, the Lynx don't have any Donkey Kong ports. Colecovision, of course, the Colecovision. Let's check out the Colecovision when it comes to Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was the pack-in game for the ColecoVision. It's actually virtually impossible not to have a copy of Donkey Kong. Just because, well, it came with every ColecoVision. And I believe we have to press the number key for it to start. Skill. Button on the gamepad. Yeah, and that's where things foul up a bit. ColecoVision, right, left, down, up, fire 1, fire 2, star. Yeah, and then it just doesn't do. Press star, and it just doesn't want to do that, which is weird. Use a menu, enter finish. No. So for some reason, it just doesn't want to. So yeah. So on this version of MiSTer, the Coleco core is just. Perhaps we could joystick swap. No, not happening. But you've seen it. You've seen it run on MSX. So yeah. Oops. Now the Gameboy Color has a very interesting Donkey Kong game. Whoops. Let me see if I can. Gameboy Color, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Land, Donkey Kong Japan, Donkey Kong World. Right. So on the, you can have it execute as color Game Boy. Now this seemingly starts out as a regular old arcade style Donkey Kong with a lot less scaffolding than the arcade game. But it's actually just an introduction to a more elaborate game where you where it's more of a platformer with all sorts of extra game features. But the first bit is just like the arcade, and this bloody. I think it's just to reach the top level. That's how you play the Pie Factory bit. is also still very similar to... Oh, and you don't die. You're not as brittle-boned as the original. And there's a bit of... Okay, let's see. This is this level, just a couple of horizontal bars. I don't think you can actually move away. I can... Oh no, I'm trapped. I don't think it is possible to walk in front of the con. You'll die. Let's see if I can just... Oh look, that's interesting. You just can skip a level. So it's actually a lot easier to play because you're not as limited by gravity and by brittle bone disease. What I always found weird is that you actually can almost touch Daisy and still not take her away. You just have to let the monkey drop. Now this is when the game changes into a Game Boy specific version. So this is all new. And basically turning it into one of these Mario games where he is in pursuit of rescuing Daisy. And so you have this more... Yeah, let's save it. So now the real game begins. Basically, this is very similar to the later Mario vs. Donkey Kong. And I think you have to grab a key and then insert that into the door. And then you get to the next level. So yeah, I really like this because it has very many similarities to later Mario games. It's very similar to and there we have the key. I think I have to jump on top. And then where's this door? Now you have to throw your key around because you can't climb with it. So yeah, very, very nice, elaborate game. I don't think the Genesis had a port of Donkey Kong. We could check it out, but I don't think it has. No, it's just more 16-bit. The Master System didn't have a version of Donkey Kong. The NES did. And actually, the Commodore 64 has a newer port. Let me see. Classic Edition Donkey Kong World. I believe the Nintendo version actually looks very nice. Thing is, it doesn't have all the levels. I think it misses one of the levels. But for a home port, I think this is one of the best looking versions, graphically. Of course, one wouldn't expect less from Nintendo. I mean, it's their own game. It's not as difficult as quite a few of the other home ports. Is it the definite home version? I'm not sure. That was a narrow escape. So yeah, and then we have the non-pi level. Yeah, I believe there is a level missing from this game. I'm not sure why, but it's a crying shame if that actually is the case. I don't remember right now. I think there is this level missing, or levels missing. It's a big missed opportunity if it actually is the case. Whoops! And now only I'll go down. Hopefully I'll be able to let the monkey fall. And yes, terminal velocity. The monkey's been conquered. Daisy's been saved. So, and then it just loops around. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's and there may have been a version on the let me see, EverDrive on the Famicom disk system, featuring more levels, but the disk may be the case, I'm not sure. Sometimes they would be more enhanced, often they would just be the same. So let's see if it actually has some more. It looks the same. Oh, and of course now I suck at the gameplay. I think this is just about the same. This is just the same version. Oh, that's why the audio isn't working. I'm using the analog out. Oh, what a numbtwit. I don't know how I would say that, but yeah, it's just. Yeah, I'm using this little small speaker setup, and it doesn't do HD audio out simultaneously, I believe. Hey, look, this is interesting. This this level was on the other one as well. So the Pi level, the Pi factory level is missing on the Nintendo version. But it may be present on the disc. Yeah, this is just virtually impossible. Okay, let's see if I can manage this. It's very quiet here on the scaffolding, which is a good thing because it allows me to just get rid of Mr. Khan in a very speedy fashion. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, yeah. And I just wanted to check out if there's this, if this Pi factory level actually is present on the disk system. But then I screw up the gameplay in a lot of major ways. Let's just see if I can be quick about removing all these nails. Go down, just move down. Indeed, very nice. Yep. I could do the hammer thing. Or I just could just go roundabout. Hi there. Let's see if, no, I think it just loops around, because otherwise, yeah, this is the last one, because the monkey drops. Pi level is nowhere in sight. No. Okay. Oh yeah, PlayStation. I just gotta show you some PlayStation. Of course, PlayStation is just awesome, and I'll show you some. Let me see what's nice to show. A Need for Speed Test Drive Le Mans. Yep. And it's actually fairly easy to have the analog stick, the dual shock being supported. Let's see. Yep, set to analog. Choose the American ones. Give them a name. This actually is one of the later games. It's from 2000, I believe. And graphically, it looks just awesome. Arcade, challenge, amateur, and just, yeah, I think it has some sort of weird zoomed in. It's not, I'm not using widescreen, but maybe that it's just stretched out a bit, and that's because of the monitor I'm using, which is not, it's a 16:9 monitor, and this is an example of the core not being perfect yet, because there's this glitching band of graphics on the right.
Conrad Motorsport GT2. Chamberlain Engineering GT2. Augusta Rate T.
So this is the complete lineup. But this is one of the best looking games. Really plays very nicely. And of course, these are all very familiar tracks. So the more racing games you play, the easier they become, because yeah, you get to know the tracks. In position 6 would be nice if I could win this race, but of course, me recording, narrating, being distracted by the different setup.
Sensational driving.
Wow. Oh, bloody hell. I'll be overtaken. Or not. That's a good thing. Oh, now I'll be overtaken for sure, yeah.
Now that's more like it. He's dropped a place. Can he make it up?
Can I make it up? Well, let's see.
Sensational driving.
Dropped another place.
What a performance. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's leading the race.
Oh, and I thought it was the last lap, but it isn't, so I was just like, oh, already standing on the podium. But I have to do another lap.
He's all out to win.
Oh, but hell, that's nasty.
He's off.
Yeah, I'm off. But hopefully I'll be able to catch up. Might not be the case. Whoa, that's not very nice driving.
This brilliant driver deserved to win today. What a great performance.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, we're back. So yeah, I mean, that MiSTer really is a great system, and soon there will be, or soon there actually it has been a Saturn core in development, which actually has a few games playable. Sadly, the author actually is in occupied Ukraine, which, well, makes the future of that core a bit dicey. I just hope the guy is safe, and that actually a lot of people in Ukraine are safe, because yeah, this whole war thing is just insanity. Yeah, but yeah, this is just, you know, me celebrating Pac-Man, me celebrating Donkey Kong, and yeah, just recording some gameplay footage, and I now know why the audio isn't, well, I have to do it through these little speakers and then the webcam microphone, because the audio output is actually set to analog, so it won't output over HDMI, so it won't capture the HDMI audio, but it will once I enable the audio output. So yeah, basically that's it. Hope you enjoy this little video. Maybe a bit boring, I'm not sure. It's very close to a stream that's not being live. Yeah, well, Mark signing out, and I'll be back with another video soon. Enjoy your day.